Hello, everyone. I hope you do all right. And I've been the blessing of God in the name of Jesus Christ being upon of you. There's something I want to share with you while I'm driving to a place is that, you know what? Sometimes we think that what we are waiting for is not coming. But when you having a plan to travel and you are at the airport, I can say, and then you've been waiting for your flight, right? You know what happens? Sometimes you have a delay. You have a delay for your flight, and then you get desperate because you want to go and you're waiting for your flight to go to the place that you want to go. But anyway, you have to be waiting for it. You have to wait for your flight, even though you know that there's a delay. But you know what? Even though you get desperate, you don't go away. You say, okay, no, I go home because the flight isn't delayed. No, you wait. And let me tell you that waiting is not a no. A delay is not a no. I'm telling you that because sometimes we get desperate when we are waiting for the answer of God. And let me tell you that waiting in God is something that teaches you something. When you wait on God, when you are in the waiting room of God, you get desperate because you want to have everything fast. You want to get everything just now. But God is teaching you and working in you, in your character. God is teaching you something when you're waiting, to have patience, to have faith, and continue believing that what you are asking for is coming. So when God makes silence, it doesn't mean that He's not listening to you. And when you have a delay in the answer of God, it doesn't mean that God is not going to be answering to you, because He keep His promise. He always going to keep His promise, what He promised to you. But you have to be patient for waiting in the name of God, the name of Jesus, for your answer. But we are, as a human being, we want to have the answer just right away. Let me tell you that a delay and the answer is not a no. You have to be waiting and keep silent and believing. That's it. So there's difference between no and not yet. Waiting is a development of a character in which we have to be learning something. Waiting, God led us to continue waiting for His purpose. And sometimes we living in the world in which we desperate. We living in the pace of a world that everything is fast. So the technology shows that we gotta have everything fast, which is not, so it's not impossible to have everything fast. Sometimes we have to be waiting for something. Sometimes we have to be patient. So, and God managed our character in waiting. So when you have received a promise from God, and the promise you haven't seen it yet, you have to understand that it is because something is working in you. God is working something in which He's trying to teach you something. Remember, it is a big difference between no and not yet. It's like when your child is waiting for the toy and they say, okay, I'm gonna give you the toy, but it's not the time. So you gotta wait for your time to have the toy. But your child have to be waiting for that time. It's the same thing. So we've been asking something for God. We have received a promise from God in which we just want to have it just right away. But it is not impossible. So it is not impossible to help ourselves in the character of waiting. When God is working in you and you asking, Bible said that He's gonna answer the desires of your heart. But we have to be patient. We have to have faith, and we have to believe. But when we want, so we gotta be manage ourselves at the time of God, not in our time. So we want to conditionate God in our time. So we say, God, now, I want it now. And God is not working like that. So much desperate you are, the promise is getting longer. I repeat again, much desperate you are, the promise is getting longer. So you're gonna be endure longer time for receiving what you're asking for. We have to be learning and understanding that God is just teaching you something.